And we are live again. Once again, it feels like forever for another episode of Shootin the Shizz with DK and the Schwag with my co-host, the Kemper Killer himself, Mr. Brett Wagner. Welcome. And
How are you,
tonight,
buddy?
I'm going to let you announce the guests tonight. Tonight, we got some special guests with us, don't we?
Well, we got a lot, but you should you know them better than I do.
I know them better than you do. I know it all, except to say the other movie title. I refuse to try to say it again. Last time, I stumbled all the way through the last interview.
How about I introduce Ann Myrna, and Ann can introduce everybody else.
Sounds like a plan.
So we are excited, and I got to talk with her a little bit through Facebook today. Ann Myrna, actor and producer. Ann, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Well, I'm better than most, not as good as some, but we got a lot of friends with us today. Why don't you introduce everybody and tell me who they are?
Sure thing. So I'm representing AfterStar Films today, and with us we have Joe Rosing, who is in Desperate Souls, which is in post-production. We'll talk about that a little later. And Joe's also in the upcoming Attack of the Corn Zombies, as well as the rest of the folks. Beth Metcalf is playing one of the roles and also doing the special effects makeup for Attack of the Corn Zombies. And Ashley and Delilah Hefner have roles in Attack of the Corn Zombies, as well as prior films from AfterStar Films.
All right, Ann, let's tell me a little bit about Naperville, Illinois. What is Naperville, Illinois, where you live? I hope I got that right. What is Naperville, Illinois known for?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Indie movies now. Indie movies it's known for. Ann Myrna.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice suburb of Chicago. It's about 40 miles west of downtown Chicago, so it's pretty far away from Chicago. But, you know, a lot of filming goes on in downtown Chicago. Network TV shows the Dick Wolf trio of Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, Chicago PD are filmed in Chicago, as well as other films. And a lot of independent work goes on in the area. AfterStar doesn't film right in the Chicago area. We prefer to film in some smaller towns in central Illinois, mostly because they are very welcoming to us. You know, there's not a lot of filming going on in these smaller towns, so it's very easy to get locations. People actually want to be extras in your films. You know, their businesses open up to use as locations and things like that. So we find it a very friendly environment to film in.
It's always much easier when you're trying to film something and you got people that are actually excited to come to work, and especially if you can find some. I just filmed a movie up in Vegas called Desert Fiends with Sean C. Phillips and Nicole Vegas, and everybody was super accommodating, and we got to film in some pretty cool locations. And yeah, it's much nicer. You know, all the red tape that you get when you're in the big city and everything, it's just a pain in the butt sometimes. Now, Ann, since we're starting off with you, were you a big, when you were growing up, were you big into the movies and TV and whatnot? And is that what kind of led you to want to do some actress work, being an actor?
Well, I was in plays in high school, so that was my initial interest. And, you know, I just went to a small high school. I actually grew up in northern Indiana and South Bend. And we would do one musical a year, and I was always in that, and I was in the chorus and stuff. And then when I got done with school, I was working in information technology, you know, had a couple kids, did the family thing. And as I got older, I wanted to get some more creativity back in my life. So I thought, you know what, I want to be on Chicago PD. That's going to be my bucket list thing. So I took a look around, see how they did casting for background extras, and got into doing background work, took some acting classes, networked with a bunch of people, got a couple of agents, and now I have had auditions for speaking roles, for co-star roles for those same projects. And then, of course, you've got to keep busy, so you look at the independent film market, you look at student films. So I've been in quite a few of those, and I ran across AfterStar Films. And one of the things that struck me about the projects with AfterStar is that the screenwriter is also an indie author. So Steve Herman, who joined us just a moment ago, he started off as an indie author, and so I find that the writing for his films is very good since he has origins as a writer. Sometimes some of the independent projects you work on, the storyline is kind of okay, and then it just like ends. Like it doesn't always follow all the way through to a real solid ending. So that really got me interested in working with this group of people, a bunch of talented actors, as well as the head writer. And then they actually finish what they start. So another kind of hazard in indie world is sometimes it's a great idea, the story is fine, maybe either the funding falls apart or the people kind of scatter to the winds, or the project gets filmed, but it never actually gets released anywhere. So as an actor, you kind of have nothing to show for it in the end. And I like the fact that Steve just keeps going from project to project and idea to idea, and we keep making a lot of people happy with the entertainment we're putting out.
Yeah, I know that's tough, especially if you get involved with something. The independent world right now is just on fire, though. So there's so much good stuff coming out of small production companies and whatnot. And there's nothing worse than getting a gig on something, and especially if you're a beginning actor or something, you need that reel, right? You're donating your time, and you need that footage, and it never comes to fruition, or they run out of money, or they lose the gumption to get it finished, and it's got to be a terrible feeling. So that's nice to hear. Now, how do we say, is it Acrostar Films? Am I saying that right?
That's correct.
All right, Acrostar Films. Now, you started also doing, besides wanting to be an actress, you started getting into the producing side of things. Was that just a natural fit for you, and doing some work and helping out with Acrostar Films with the producing side?
Yeah, so I had asked Steve if there was anything I could help on. He was running a crowdfunding campaign probably about 2 years ago, and just asked if I could help with anything behind the scenes. And eventually he came up with the idea of me stepping into the producer role. And I'm used to organizing things, having been doing a lot of IT stuff. It's a lot of organizational, keep tracking of details, all that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of learning as I go. But he's a great mentor in terms of giving me more and more responsibility. And it's fun to actually see all the pieces come together and see all the work that goes in, so that you can show up on set and cameras can roll and good things happen.
Well, welcome to Steve for being here once again. A little late joining us, but always good to see you. Now, how many films is this now you and Ann have worked on together as a promoter?
Together, this would be number 1, 2, 3 so far.
Okay.
Trepidity, it came from somewhere, and now Desperate Souls.
Oh, fantastic. Sounds like you guys got a great relationship. I always see Ann, she's always grinding out there and promoting the films you guys are doing. And I'm sure that's a huge help for you, Steve. But again, welcome back and congratulations on all the success all you guys are having right now.
Well, thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, Steve, talk about, how hard, since you're doing some of the writing and whatnot, how hard is it to, maybe a lot of people don't know, how hard is it to get the script done and then raise the money and get the films done? Because obviously you've been getting them done.
Writing is really the tough part when you have such a big cast in a film. Say like Attack of the Clone Zombies, we're going to have 12, 13 people, maybe 15, I don't know off the top. That's really hard to come up with storylines for 15 people. So I would say that's the hardest, harder than like raising money, even though raising money is a pain in the ass. But writing a plot for everybody, certain groups, that's really tough. And that takes a couple cycles to go through until you finally get everything pieced together.
And what got you interested in doing the writing and then getting into the film business?
Well, as an indie author, every author, especially indies, want to see their books be made into a movie. That's the total dream, and that's almost impossible. Good luck. You're better off getting struck by lightning than that happening. So I just took it upon myself. I studied filmmaking for 2 years and just brought it on myself. Decided if it's going to get done, I got to do it myself.
Now, it came from somewhere? Was that your first project, or?
Actually, Morium was, and that was 2 years ago, I want to say. Mm-hmm. But Trepidity was very the start of our Aquastar family. That was like the start of it. and we've been together making these films ever since. So I would say Trepidity was the stepping stone to where I'm at now.
And
Now, go ahead, John.
He's found some. Well, I was going to say you found such talented people to work with, and Myrna. It's the first time I'm meeting Joe. I'm looking forward to seeing him on screen. Ashley and Delilah, always happy to see you guys again. Two incredible young talents right there. And Beth, you're doing. You guys are all multitasking when it comes to indie. You multitask. That's just how it is. And Beth, you're in the film as an actress, but you're also doing some other work, right?
Yes, doing a double duty. We'll be doing the SFX, teaming up with Jamie Apple. We're going to bring all the blood and the guts to Corn Zombies. And I did all the SFX on Trepidity, and Jamie did Desperate Souls. So we kind of tag team.
Now, Beth, did you go to school for that? Did you go to like a school to learn to do the SFX makeup?
I did not. I'm a self-taught artist. I started when I was 12. I saw the Saw movies, and I was like, how did they do that? And I was the kid. Everyone's playing basketball, and I'm inside like painting liquid latex on my face and making wounds and all that covered in fake blood. So
yeah, me and John were both 12 years old when the Saw came out as well.
Yes.
No, we weren't. No, as a matter of
it scared me to death. It caused all these gray hairs. It really scared Brett. It kicked in his grays even more. It's we're surviving though.
As a matter of fact, let's say happy birthday to our main man right there, John. Happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, John.
Thank you, guys.
41, and looking good.
I wish. The big 4-7. But I was thinking this year, it took me a while to remember. Am I 46, 47, 48? It's kicking in good. So, hopefully by next year, I'm thinking, well, am I 21 or 22? So we'll see. We'll see how that brain loss, that memory loss goes for me. But.
Joe, how did you get into acting? And what, something you always done or something you liked that, grew up and you're like, I want to do this or?
Well, actually, I always wanted to be an actor, yeah. But before that, or during the same time as a little kid, I wanted to be a police officer, and I actually tried to pursue that career way before this. And as we can see how well that turned out. Now I started doing acting just over 4 years ago, along with modeling, and Desperate Souls was the first thing I ever worked with the Acrostar family, and I'm very grateful they picked me up and took me into that family.
Desperate Souls, a horror romance. Can we talk a little bit about Desperate Souls there?
I guess so, yeah.
Sure. Yeah, Steve, why don't you introduce where the idea came from?
Well, Desperate Souls came up from a short story that I had written 4 or 5 years ago about a succubus. And I gave it a little twist and added horror into the actual film because it's hard to take a 34-page short story and turn it into a film that's an hour and 45 minutes. So I had to kind of stretch it out and add some horror into it and kind of make it like the first half. It's kind of like a romance, and then it all goes to hell in the second half of the film.
Yeah, so Angel Bradford plays Moira, who is the woman who's a succubus, and she falls for Joe's character, Devin. And Devin is someone who suffers from depression. Everybody's looking for somebody type of a romance, and they find each other and, find a great connection. But Moira has a real jealous streak to her, and that jealousy kind of comes out in the horror aspects of the film.
Oh, awesome. Now, Ashley and Delilah, how are you guys doing?
We're great. Yeah. How are you
guys doing? Can I ask how old you are?
Me?
Yeah, both of you.
Oh. You don't ask a woman her age. No, I'm kidding.
Well, you obviously, obviously, if you're doing some acting, you guys love to act, and you got started early, I take it.
Yep, I am 27 years old. Yeah, I'm 27 years old.
I'm 9. I'm being 10 in September.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yes. Our birthdays are hard, actually. It's a lot of fun.
Very, very cool. No, we're raising money. I know we're doing some. You guys are going to start filming Attack of the Corn Zombies. I love the name. Anything that has to do with zombies and corn. I'm in Iowa a lot, so I love corn, and those two things together, Attack of the Corn Zombies. Let's talk about a little bit about that movie and what's going on with that, Steve.
Well, it's kind of interesting how that idea came up to play. How that movie did. Beth is smiling right there because when we filmed, it came from somewhere. There's a cornfield right next to the house, and after a day of shooting, everybody seemed to go out into the cornfield and start making videos. And I think it was Beth that came up and go, "Hey, we should do a movie about zombies in the corn." And that's where the idea came up. So it's all Beth's fault.
Is this it's just something that you wrote a short story about, Steve, or is this just a idea and then all of a sudden we got a script and we're doing a movie?
This is an original idea.
Very nice.
Off a book. Because I always loved zombies. I mean, zombies is my favorite genre. And, I wanted to do like one earlier, but the market was so oversaturated with them. So I just waited it out.
Breathing time. Yeah, I think you did the right move to wait it out. I think now's a good time for more zombies.
Because nowadays there's nothing but animals addicted to drugs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the main thing now.
Yeah. Yeah. We got Noah's Ark of cracked out animals going on, which is cool. Actually, I saw Cocaine Bears on Peacock or one of the stations in like 5 days, so I'm excited to watch it. I'm not gonna lie, I got sold into the hype, but yeah, I love zombies too. I know Brett's a huge zombies fan. He also was in the Crazies. Plays a mean zombie. Plays a pretty mean zombie.
Infected, yes. I keep getting whenever we would do some press about that. I remember back in the day, they're like, "You weren't a zombie, you're infected." I'm like, okay, well, we're in. I like to say zombie, but yeah, I mean, gosh, I mean, for me, that's the 1967 Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead were two of the reasons I got into acting.
Well, and one of the reasons that there are so many people in the cast is that the way Steve operates with these ideas that just pop up is he'll go to all of us and say, "Okay, so we're going to do this corn zombie movie. Who wants in?" And of course, we all say me. And so he ends up having to write for 15, 16 characters. So we've got kind of the core Ackerstar family of actors. Also Angel Bradford, who, as I mentioned, was in Desperate Souls. She's in this one. And we're bringing in a couple new faces, Morgan Thompson and Lynn Lowry.
Yeah,
Miss Lynn Lowry, yes. Wow, very nice. I mean,
yes. And Angel's been killing it. Angel's been killing it. She's in like everything lately. I mean, that girl's getting cast in every movie. I think she just finished shooting The Dead Place. It's cool that to hear that she's working with you guys. I think she's going to fit the part the way you guys explained it real well, because she does have that innocent look. But you talk to her for 5 minutes. I've had her on the show a couple times. She can play that crazy well. So that's going to be a really cool role for her.
Yeah, we're gonna have a mixture of walking slow ones in and runners, because I couldn't make up my mind. So I'll just put them both in there. Running zombies and walking.
Now wait a minute, Steve. You're breaking the cardinal rule there. We got to have one or the other. You can't have both, can you?
No, I couldn't make up my mind. It's like, should they run? Yeah, they should. No, they should be slow and lumbering, and I'll throw a few runners in there.
You got the jock zombies, and then you got the ones that live in their mother's basement zombies.
That's it.
They're a little busy to run.
And it makes us different than the other ones that are still coming out. So you don't know what you're going to get.
Well, you have the 28 days later zombie, that run fast, and then you have your traditional, Night of the Living Dead slow walking zombies, or the Walking Dead slow walking zombies. So maybe it's time, and Steve, you're going to break the mold here with both of them. So that's good.
Why not?
To be fair, though, the Walking Dead did have both. They just started at different times. In the beginning, those were fast zombies. They'd climb fences, they'd knock on your door, trick or treat, everything.
Yep. At the end, they started picking up rocks and freaking ready to.
Yeah, well, they went from that, which I thought was scarier, to where the Walking Dead had it, where they're just mush. You step on their head. It's like, how is a jog going to bite me if I can step on their head and it turns into a giant dead fly?
Now, you guys, we were talking a little bit about it came from somewhere, 1950s sci-fi creature feature. Is that you can see that, right? That's on. Is that on Amazon?
Yes,
Soon to be on Tubi, Myrna.
absolutely right. Yeah, we've submitted to several streaming platforms, and Tubi has accepted us, and we just have to wait for that to go live, and then we'll, post that in our Facebook group once that's live on Tubi.
And Steve, what was the thought process of an old school 1950 sci-fi thing? Is this in black and white, by the way?
Yes, it is black and
Wow.
white, 4:3 ratio. And he even got the screen imperfections in the film. And as you're watching it, scratches going across it, like jumps in scenes. I got the idea from watching Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Love it.
They had teenagers from outer space on. It's like, wouldn't that be cool to do something like that? And I brought it up to the group, and like everybody raised their hand and was like, yep, let's do it. And I just wrote like the corniest, dumbest shit I can think of. Going back to like Ed Wood, Roger Corman, people like that. The true pioneers of cheesy movies.
Ashley, you didn't hear any bad words there.
Delilah?
Listen, Roger Corman and all that, all the Ed Woods. I mean, all that stuff early on was great. I mean, we wouldn't be here today if there wasn't all that stuff, Twilight Zones and all that early stuff. So I love it. I mean, it came from somewhere. It's came
not
from
a great look. I've been wanting to see, because obviously Anne's a part of it. Ashley and Delilah are both in it. Beth, you're in that one too, right? And and of course my buddy Bill Russell, he's in there. Yep. Bill D. Russell. So it's got an amazing cast, and I wanted to watch it before our show tonight, and I've just been so crazy busy. It's not funny, but I love the trailer. Brett, I think it's something you'd dig. I don't know if you had a chance to see the trailer for it, but I'm definitely going to check it out once it hits Tubi this week. How long is it going to be before Tubi?
They really don't give you a timeline.
You gotta translate it though first, right? Isn't that like the big pain?
Oh no, it's all set, ready to go. I just gotta wait for them to drop it on.
Oh, cool.
And believe me, I'm checking every day.
I can imagine. That's cool. Tubi's got the best selection. I love Tubi.
Well, one of the cool things about it came from somewhere is it's been nominated for a Rondo Award. It's a horror award that some people say is analogous to like the Oscars of the horror genre. We're not quite sure how it got nominated, but it's a process of voting by email. So there's a bunch of different categories. There's like 15 different categories. So we're nominated for like the best independent film of 2022, something like that. I mean, it's a huge category. We're up against some kind of big guns in that category in terms of budget. But it's a true honor to nominate us for that, and it's gotten the film a lot of attention.
That's awesome. It's so good to hear that the film won those awards. It is a film I really do want to see. It came from somewhere. It just has such a great vibe. I love those old 50s vibe. I want to see the way you guys filmed it, especially like you said, Stevie, with the scratching on the. I don't know, something about that just always captures me and intrigues me. That's something it glues me to a TV when I see those old. Came from somewhere, but Mars Attacks vibe. I guess that's the vibe I got from the trailer. Those old 50s B movies. I don't know. I always loved them.
Yeah, just from an actor's perspective, we actually watched some old films together so that we could see the acting style of the 50s. It was very over the top or on camera, more like stage acting. Super dramatic, sweet Delilah. I love this one scene where she gets confronted and she passes out. I mean, it's just the best. And it's not meant to be a parody of those films. It's meant to really honor them and pay homage to those films of the past. I mean, Beth as an alien is just hysterical. I mean, we laughed so hard because it's all played straight. But if you have seen films like that, then it's funny to a lot of it. Even though it's not meant to really be funny.
It looks like a fun film. I like I said, I can only imagine how fun it was to film it, especially the outfits. I know you were excited about the outfits, and we had talked about the last time having that vibe, having the right look for it. Because if you don't have the right look for it, it's not going to work. And from what I saw in the trailers and stuff, it definitely had the right look, the right attitude it showed in the trailer.
And we are actually going to be filming the sequel to it later this year.
Oh, nice! Congrats.
Which Ashley Hefner will be directing.
Oh,
wow.
Yep, solo directing this one. I'm a little nervous about it, but I'm actually also very excited. So I don't know how much we can tell about it. We haven't posted anything online yet.
I think that's awesome. I think it's going to be great, and especially with Acrostar, you're so used to the people you've worked with that you know you're going to have the support system there to make sure you're able to succeed the best way you can. So I think you're going to do fantastic.
Yeah, that's definitely what makes it so easy. Is I have complete faith in the whole team, cast and crew. I know it's going to be good, so I don't have to stress about that. I guess I'm just putting too much pressure on myself because I know, especially with Beth and Jamie is also involved with this project, and she wasn't involved with our first. It came from somewhere, so I know it's going to be even more over the top. It can only get better, I think.
Well, I guess so. Ann and Steve, how do you guys go about getting your crew together? As far as, I mean, you obviously are using some of the same actors and some of the same people working on it. I mean, do you guys do auditions? Have you just come across these folks and then you know they've done a good job and you keep a hold of them for a while?
Yeah, I mean, I worked with most of Acrostar over a year. I mean, with Ashley and Delilah, we started on Blood Sisters. And then Beth has been there since my very first short film. And it's a lot easier because they've all worked together. They all gel together like a team. They know each other. They work off each other. Working with them is like a director's dream because you really don't have to give them much direction. I give them the characters. They go, here they are. Here's the outline. Do what you want with the characters. Just keep them within this guideline of how they're supposed to be. So I give them free will to do what they want with their characters, and they have never disappointed me.
Very nice. Go ahead, sorry.
We do have auditions when we have a project and we don't have somebody already in hand. So, for example, Joe auditioned for the role of Devin for Desperate Souls. Andrew Bradford auditioned for the role of Moira in Desperate Souls. And for crew, it kind of depends on what sort of budget we're able to work with. Obviously, we're doing crowdfunding, and sometimes that can support bringing in a cinematographer. Sometimes Steve is not only the screenwriter, but he's the cameraman, he's the editor, he's the colorist. We have a separate guy who does sound for us, who will compose the theme for the film and do the sound editing. But we run a pretty tight ship. And like you say, with indie films, you end up wearing a lot of different hats. I'm the crafty, I cook the meals. We all stay in an Airbnb together typically, and I'm cooking at night. Number one, because where we stay is kind of low, there are no restaurants available. And number two, it saves a lot of money.
Do you guys feel like it's easier now that you've built the core? This would be a good one for you, Steve and Ann, and even with Ashley. Ashley, right? You're the older one. Ashley, yeah, I wanted to make sure. It confused me because you switched sides on me. But now directing, does it make it easier? And is it like you got your core and now adding building blocks, like inviting Angel Bradford to come in, and this is your first time working with her? Has that made it easier over time than, say, when you first started trying to find the people, and now you got that core?
Yeah, I mean, Steve can really speak to what the original projects were like, because not that many of us were on those. So obviously, like with the first stuff, you had to find people, you had to have auditions and stuff. So like for Morium example, like how long did it take you to cast that?
That took like 4 months, 4.5 months to finally get the people I thought would do the part well.
Mm-hmm.
That was the longest it took for any of my films.
it's got to be a smooth run now, because just with the help you have, like Ann, the team that you've built, and like I was saying, adding building blocks has to make just the screenwriting and having the confidence. You know your cast, you know who's going to fit the role before you even like start casting. I'm sure a bulk of it you're already like, well, Ann will be perfect for this, Ashley will be great for this, Delilah will be great, Beth, Joe, you know.
Right. Well, what I like to do too is like throw these people out of their element. So, you know, somebody is used to playing a certain kind of character. I like to switch it up and go, okay, well, now you're not going to do that. You're going to play this character instead. To keep them on their toes.
Challenge
Well,
them. That's good.
as an actor, I mean, that's always great, right? I mean, you always don't listen. I've done over 100 projects over 30 years. A good bulk of that is the bad guy, which is fine, but it's also nice to play against your type, and it, you know, it spices things up and it makes a little bit more of a challenge for you. Now let's talk about Attack of the Corn Zombies. How long is the shoot gonna be for? And you guys are shooting right are you shooting in Naperville, Ann?
No, we're shooting in Central Illinois. So, like our big zombie scene is going to be in Farmer City, Illinois. So we're attempting to get 100 extras to play zombies that day.
Wow.
I've got over 50 so far, so I'm in there. We've got a month to go. So we're going to be filming beginning of May. We've got we have 5 full shooting days plus 2 partial shooting days. And most people would say you're making a feature film in that small amount of time. What's the matter with you people? But we do it. We had doubts going into Desperate Souls, whether we could get everything done in the amount of time that we had scheduled, and we did it with ease. I mean, still essentially 12-hour days. You know, you're talking like 7 a.m. call time, and we wrap it about 7 p.m. But everybody is comfortable with schedule. You know, again, we're all right there. Everybody's not going to travel home. We're all kind of like staying together. So everybody just, you know, puts in their all. If we're in between scenes, we're doing the lighting setup, then everybody's running lines, or we're doing makeup or costumes or whatever. So, you know, we're able to keep the schedule moving.
The beauty of Airbnb. I know. I remember the first time I did a movie up in that was a crowdfunding thing, and they're like, "Hey, we're staying at an Airbnb," and I'm like, "All of us?" You know, there was like 10 of us, but it was such a great deal because the place had plenty of rooms, and you get everybody together, and it's a little bit easier, and you can, like you said, you can cook for everybody, and you can eat, and everybody can get going, and wardrobe and everything in the same place. So that's a wonderful thing. Wow, that was so.
I don't mean to cut anybody off. Are we getting some feedback, or is it just on my end?
No, we're getting some feedback somewhere.
All right, I'll find out who it is. I'm gonna find out which one it is. It's not
probably
Ann.
Steve. It could be Joe. He's kind of quiet.
I'm muted.
Watch it be the Schwag. No. I'm hearing it though, and I muted myself. No. I don't. All right.
That was it. I think it was Joe. Oh, wait.
No, it's not Joe. I think it's Ann.
I hear it.
We'll see. I just muted Joe. I think it's Joe.
It is Joe.
Oh. It's always the good-looking guy. Well, what's Steve? What's besides Attack of the Corn Zombies? What is Acrostar Films got coming up? And what you got some? I'm sure you obviously with all the films you've done, you got some more that you're ready to do.
Yeah, like I said, like the sequel to We Came From Somewhere, that'll be in August, and then beginning of next year. Oh well, actually, before that, we're going to do like a fan film trailer of a horror. I really can't say what it is because it would spoil it. Beth knows because she's smiling, but I don't want to give it away. I want it to be a surprise.
Oh,
and then I'll start casting by the end of the year for another book adaptation for next year.
Well, let me just say this, Steve and Ann and everybody, that me and John do have some frequent flyer miles. So if you need that number 17 and 18th actor on the thing, you know, we are available.
awesome.
Yeah. Well, the Schwag's always down for a zombie movie. I know he's always down, or infected movie.
Either or. And John has just, recently made his, I don't know if it was his debut, but he's got some movie stuff coming up. And what is that movie, John, you're in, Birthday Boy?
I was in Camp Blood 666 Part 2, and I'm still yet to see it. I went to order some copies, then I got busy, and I was waiting to hear back to how they wanted me to pay for them, and I didn't, because I want to put some on the table. If somebody wants to watch Camp Blood 666 in some minute, say I'm selling them for 25, you could get my autograph and just spend 20 on the movie. So I'm paying you to take my autograph if I get them. You never know.
Now, let me ask Joe and the other actors here. Is it nice to have a director that, kind of lets you have a little bit of free reign on your character?
Yeah, it'd be nice, please.
Well, in that case, yeah, absolutely. Of course it is. Steve is a great guy. Actually, it's we actually, I think everybody just clicks with Steve right away, honestly. And it was really hard on the last day when we all left.
What about you, Beth?
Yeah, I've played a wide variety of characters since we started together with In the Dark. That was the first project I worked with Steve on. It was like 2 years ago now. And he'll give you the guideline. He's like, this is the vibe I want. This is what I'm thinking. But we're not fully married to the exact words on the page. If we need to make it our own to make it more convincing, more believable, and we can really live in those characters, and he'll be like, yes, and he'll guide us and be like, yes, I loved that. And it's a very just a very uplifting environment, and it gives us that room to be creative and to really own our characters. I really love that.
Ashley and Delilah.
I was gonna say there's a reason why we keep coming back to work with Acrostar, and like a lot it's mostly SJ. We love working with him. He's so easy to work with. We actually have our own little group name. It's Ash J, because we just vibe so well together in direct. We just can read each other's minds, or if one of us has a suggestion, it just goes so well. He's so easy to I'm never afraid to ask him a question, bring up anything, he has, complete faith in us, and we have complete faith in him. What about you?
I like working with our film family.
Good job, kid.
Well, very nice. Listen, if you look at some of the great, Steve, some of the great directors out there that use a family, the Clint Eastwood has used the same guys for 40 years in all his movies because he likes working with people that he knows that'll do a good job. He doesn't have to necessarily coach them when they're on the set. He just gives them their deal and said, this is the vibe, like your actors here we're talking about, and they just go to town.
Yeah, kind of like Tarantino.
Yep. Sure.
Who's one of my favorite directors, by the way.
Same.
Yeah, can't go wrong with Tarantino.
No.
Definitely a legend.
I think he's got one more, right? And then he's retiring. That's what he's saying?
I believe so. I believe it is.
Been saying that.
But he doesn't really put out a lot of movies, though, either, if you really think about how long he's been doing it. But he does put out those quality ones. I mean, they're always awesome films. If he puts, I can't think of a bad Tarantino film.
No, I can't either. I mean, my favorite is From Dusk Till Dawn, but
just watched that yesterday or 2 days ago.
Great movie.
Again, I've seen it a few times. Yeah, great cast.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you all kind of love. I mean, Steve, is the horror science fiction genre your thing, or are there going to be some other stuff, or this just what you love to do and write about?
I love writing about supernatural because you can come up with the craziest stuff and not be confined to a certain linear thing. Like supernatural, you can do whatever you want, and it could be anything. Reading minds, blowing up heads, flying around. You could do anything with supernatural, paranormal stuff. I mean, in the real world, you really can't be that way, I guess you can say.
Is there a slasher film in your brain there that we might see?
Attack of the Clone Zombie is one.
Okay.
That's not really a slasher film, but it'll be one of the goriest I've done. I don't know about. I mean, Trepidity was a slasher, but again, the slasher thing has been done to death, and there always seems to be a slasher movie coming out like every month, or somebody's working on one. I just try to be different, think out of the box. I mean, corn zombies. Who would have thought, zombies coming out of the corn, or from people eating corn?
That's what I was telling Brett. I go, corn zombies. Now that's got to have like kind of an interesting story to it to have corn zombies. It definitely piques your curiosity. I mean, I've heard, zombie sharks and zombie animals, and I mean, it's obviously zombie people are infected. If I don't want to upset the big Schwag, but I get it though. It's it's definitely an interesting title, but eating corn, at least we know how they turn into the infected.
Right. I mean,
they do use a lot of pesticides,
Well, yeah. You'll find out how it happened. I mean, the people who turn will actually have like kernels coming out of them, corn stalks coming out of their body.
Wow, kind of mutated.
Yes.
Wow.
Like scarecrow zombie.
Well, like that could be the next movie, Scarecrow Zombie.
There you go, the sequel. It started in the corn. Oh yeah, well, it sounds like
so I just wanted to
I mean, I love the ideas you come up with. I'll give. I think that's why I imagine all you guys like working with Steve. It's never just one. I mean, it might be horror genre or different, related somewhat, but it's always a different style. Whether it's corn zombies, it came from somewhere. Realistically, even with Desperate Souls, a horror love story, a horror romance. That's definitely different avenues. Each movie's it's not a sequel. Well, you are planning a sequel for It Came From Somewhere, but to have all these different ideas, it shows a lot of creativity.
Right, and Attack of the Corn Zombies will take place in 1969.
Oh,
so everything will be style, the wardrobe, dialogue, the slang, everything from 1969.
Is Joe going to be a hippie? That's what I want to know.
Nope.
Well, we have a group of
he's a greaser.
Yeah. Joe's a greaser. So there's a group of greasers. There's a group of hippies. There's what I call the farmers, and then kind of a family unit that's in there as well.
I like it. Now, Steve and Ann, with the company and the movies you're doing, are you guys strictly making them to get released? Are you doing some of the film festivals with stuff? I mean, some of the conventions, or are we past that state now?
I mean, I'll only do festivals if they're not tied up for a year or 2 years. I don't like giving a film to a film festival going, okay, well, now you can't show it for a year or 2 years or whatever. These people work hard on these films, and they need to be seen, not wait a year, 2 years for it to actually be able, okay, now I can show it to people. I don't buy that. I'm not into that. I mean, they did the work.
I agree 100% with you.
They did the work. Let it be seen.
Well, speaking of film festivals, our buddy Chaz DeMoss over at Crypticon sent me a message. And I know I informed you, Ann. So I want to give this shout out while we're here, too. I'm going to read what he said. My film friends, doing indie features or shorts, just contact me and I'll give you guys any links you need, and you can submit to the Crypticon Film Festival. I'll be at 3 of their events. I'll be at Kansas City, Minnesota, and then Denver with Brett sitting with me right out there. We got a great group of people out there, Doug Tate and Michael Bailey Smith. So enter. We're going to be there. We're definitely check out these indie films. So all my indie film friends, just hit me up. I'll give you the links and make sure you enter. Big shout out to Crypticon. And same thing with you, Steve. If you got something you want to enter into it, let me know afterwards, and I'll hook you up with any links you need.
Well, thank you very much.
You're more than welcome. So, so I know you're filming Desperate Souls. Is that in post-production, and then Corn Zombies is getting ready to film, or are they both getting ready to be filmed?
No, Desperate Souls is in post. It's getting the sound and music worked on right now, and that should be released by the end of May. We'll be premiering it at a theater in Leroy, Illinois, which is near the area where we filmed it. So we did have some scenes that were in a bar, and we had some background extra people who were locals. So we wanted to do the theatrical premiere down there. Plus, it's in the middle of when we're filming Attack of the Corn Zombies, so the cast from Corn Zombies can watch Desperate Souls together, which would be fun. So yeah, there's a movie theater down there, old school. It's not part of a big network or anything. It's just an independent theater. And then we expect Corn Zombies to be released. We're saying late this year, so we don't have a real specific time frame on that yet, but it'll definitely come out this year.
Well, let me ask you, and Steve, I mean, what's the process once the Desperate Souls is all edited and ready to go? What is the process? And do you hit up some of the Tubies and the Amazons to try to get them to take the movie and air it, or what's the process?
Well, first I'll drop it on Film Hub, and then Film Hub will distribute it to whoever wants it. Then they'll go out there, they'll try to pitch it. Some stations come to them and see what they have, and we'll go from there. And I'll definitely put it on Amazon Prime, and it will also be out on DVD and Blu-ray.
Yeah, so we do the DVD and Blu-ray through a service that manufactures on demand. So it's called Kunaki. And so we'll just put the links on our website. You can pre-order physical media through the Indiegogo campaigns, but once the campaigns are done and the film is released, then we let people order from clicking from the Acrostar website. You go directly to this Kunaki website, and then it gets shipped directly to the customer. So we don't have to deal with carrying inventory and all that kind of stuff.
Very nice. That's the key right there. The inventory is what, you don't have to put all that money out up front and then be sitting on it in case something. Yeah, that's great. So Attack of the Corn Zombies, once again, we're real excited for you guys about that. It just, the name alone, and me and John were talking about it, just sounds so cool and interesting, and sounds like you got a great cast that's going to be with it. And I am just excited for you guys for this, to get going in May and the filming and everything. And listen, if you need a couple guys that look like good corn stalks, that's why I wore the hat in honor of this today. That's why I put the hat. There's no laughing there, but this is why I wore the hat, because I'm ready to be a farmer for y'all.
Farmer Schwag at your service.
Yeah, you are definitely invited to come on to set, and we will put you to good work.
I'll make him work. I mean, not just acting. Put him to work. Get a broom, a mop ready. He's ready to go.
I'm ready. I am ready to help you cook as well.
Awesome.
You just let him know where all the good restaurants are. That's he loves to travel. Brett's always on the road, loves to act, and he always finds the best eateries there are out there. So if he does ever go to Illinois, well, you probably already know the best eateries. He'll probably know the best food out there that you guys never heard of, but that's Brett for you. He's very simple, but he likes the good things.
I love a good place to get chili. We tried it. We were, just recently up at Horror Hound in Cincinnati, and went and tried Horror. Have you been to Horror Hound, Beth?
I live in Cincinnati, so it's a very quick drive for me. Yes.
What an amazing show it was. It was just an incredible show. But I went and ate at Skyline Chili, Beth. What a mistake. It was a mistake.
A mistake.
She looked so excited too. She's like, "Oh, I was like, yeah." And then you delivered like the bad punchline as a stand-up comedian. Oh, I went there. It's terrible.
I don't mind spaghetti with chili on top, but it's got to be more than just water and a little bit of meat. So I Ubered because I didn't have a car, so I Ubered in the rainstorm and went to Skyline Chili. They were closing in a half an hour, and I was depressed, Beth.
Well, maybe they were closing down. They had it in the sink, and there was already water in the bowl, and they just had to get it out to you. They wanted to close up. You just caught them at a bad time. We don't have enough sauce. Just add some water. Add some water. Let's get this guy out of here.
So folks want to get excited or interested and maybe, help out with Acrostar Films. Where do they go to? Where do they look to see what you guys got going on?
Well, you can start at the website, which is acrostarfilms.com. It's ACROSTAR films.com. And then each campaign that we have open, we have like a shortcut domain name for it that'll take you to Indiegogo. So we've got cornzombies.com. We have DesperateSoulsMovie.com. And we have ItCameFromSomewhere.com because all those campaigns are still open.
Joe, what do you got coming up besides Attack of the Corn Zombies? Anything else you want to plug?
Well, let's see here. I know in July I'm working on another film with another actress who's in Desperate Souls, Sarah, and I think Jamie Apple will also be working on it as well. It's called The Blood Moon. So you got to do with vampires, and I have to play a rock star as well in that thing too. And
I can see that. I can see the hair, man. If I had hair like that, I'd be doing something else.
Yeah, I based my hair off another rock star that I met, actually.
Beth, what is going on for you?
A couple projects here and there, doing some stunt work, some action stuff in Indiana at the end of this month. Got a movie coming up called Without Her. It's a story, it's a drama about an abuse story told through the dog's eyes. So that'll be filming in September. Got a couple projects here and there. A lot are kind of under wraps. I can't talk too much, but a couple things in the works.
The secrets this group has, John. The secrets these people
We
are
won't
keeping
tell
from
anybody, we swear.
And Ashley and Delilah, what is going on with you guys coming up?
We have a production company as well, and we have 2 shorts coming up. For Lindy, we're filming in May, actually like a week and a half after we wrap Corn Zombies. And then SJ is going to be co-directing with me our next film that's called Life, and it's a silent film set in the 1920s about speakeasy. So that is film, so we'll Delilah. And I'm so grateful that Steve agreed to co-direct with me because we really just made the best team directing, and I knew this camera especially when I'm going to be on camera, that I totally trust to take care of this project. And yeah, and then Delilah, what you have on?
I have to be in Virginia for 3 weeks.
She's got a lot of projects going on. I don't even know.
I don't really
she's
know.
She's a busy 9-year-old. She's busier than I am. I'm a grown woman, so
I have project books every month until September.
Humble.
Yeah, congratulations. That's awesome to hear. And then, well, Ann and Steve, we know what you guys are going on. Congratulations. And look, if me and John can help any way to help with your projects, getting the word out, or of course doing some acting or whatever it is, or just spreading the word for you all, we'd love to do so. And obviously we appreciate you guys coming on tonight and hanging out with us and talking about Attack of the Corn Zombies, because I, for one, am super excited. And man, Steve, anything you want to plug?
No, except for what I got coming up, the project with Ashley and Attack of the Corn Zombies, the sequel to It Came From Somewhere that will be titled They Came Back From Somewhere. And then start working on next year.
Sounds good to me. Ann, last words.
I just want to thank you guys for having us out here. It's a lot of fun talking to you. Acting wise, besides Steve's projects, I've got a feature film coming out. We're going to be filming in a couple weeks where I play a woman who buys crack, and I live in a tent. So it's a little outside my normal type. And then I'm also in a short film called Young Fellas, which is about 4 different couples, and the guys try to go off on a boondoggle and put their wives into having a day off, and of course they get caught. So that'll be fun, and I'm working with Ashley on one of her upcoming projects. So I'll be busy.
And Ann, I did watch your acting reel. Kudos to you. You got some good chops there. So I obviously look forward to watching all you guys and your upcoming projects. And John, what do you got going on, buddy?
Oh boy, what do I have going on? Well, just getting ready for these conventions coming up. Starting in July, it's going to be a grind and planning on those big tables. Scheduling some shows. We got some great guests that want to come on with me and Brett. Also, some great guests with DK and the B when she gets back. Wow, there's a lot of plans. The website's going to be open. We're going to be having a store with all the cool merch that you see, T-shirts, cutouts, just all different stuff. Real cool store, and that's about it for me. I don't know. Other than getting ready, being prepared.
Sounds good, man. Well, listen, guys, we really appreciate you coming on. And as I said, anything we can do to help you all get the word out. And yes, I'm not good at doing the hard thing, but thank you, guys. Yeah, I'm a redneck. I don't do that very well. But thanks for coming on. Hey, John, I'll let you say goodbye.
All right. Hey, thank you so much, Ann, Steve, Beth, Joe, the young talent right there. Delilah and Ashley, you guys are killing it. We're excited for you. We want to keep continuing to follow your career. And if there's anything we can do, like Brett said, we're always happy to support the indie community and great projects like you guys are working on. And until next time, which I'm not sure yet, I don't have anything scheduled. We're going to see you soon. Happy Easter, everybody. Take care.
Happy Easter.